The Republic of Namibia is a young democracy that gained its independence from South Africa on 21 March 1990 after a long struggle against the apartheid regime. The Constitution of Namibia, adopted in 1990, established a multi-party system, a bicameral parliament, an independent judiciary, a Bill of Rights, and a decentralized system of governance. Since its independence, the country has held regular and peaceful elections, enjoys political stability and respect for human rights. Namibia is constituted as a sovereign, secular, democratic and unitary state. A unitary state is run by a centralized national government, and any decentralization of powers, responsibilities and functions are given to lower tiers of government like regional councils and local authorities. Namibia's democracy aims to ensure effective cooperation between ministries and subnational authorities to develop an effective approach to national development, which necessitates public participation as a fundamental factor in Namibia's democratic culture. However, in Namibia, the challenge of public participation remains due to the low level of public awareness and participation in democratic processes, especially among women, youth, and marginalized groups. A lack of adequate resources, capacity, and skills for many civil society organizations, which requires improvements in policy engagement and the enhancement of oversight and program implementation with parliament and government. Limited access to information due to affordability, availability, and utilization of communication technologies for citizens and CSOs in Namibia. A lack of meaningful media platforms for citizens and CSOs to voice their opinions and concerns. And limited coordination and collaboration opportunities among CSOs, parliament and government on cross-cutting issues such as gender, environment, human rights, good governance, youth employment, and other issues to boost inclusive development. Currently, Namibia faces challenges in consolidating and deepening its democracy as public institutions do not always succeed in communicating countrywide on how they try to ensure meaningful public participation at national, regional, and local levels with regards to decision-making processes that impact the lives and livelihoods of people in Namibia.
Article 17 in the Namibian Constitution says we all have the rights and the freedom and the responsibility to participate in political processes, meaning you can vote a political party of your choice, you can start a political party yourself, you can lobby with political parties, you can lobby with parliament or the other national and regional authorities.
There are a lot of should we say, gaps at the moment in what we could be doing. But again, these are things that we try to address through dialogue and through practice, because we're a very pragmatic organization.
You cannot preempt what they want. You should consult and engage them for you to have a really meaningful solution for their problem.
We're seeing more and more poverty in our country. There is a certain need for government and civil society to work together to promote unity, to promote that aspect of nobody is left behind.
It is our experience, and I think it's also the experience of Namibia, that democracy needs to be built every day. It's not just election day. Election day is a critical day, but it's something that needs to building democracy, listening to the needs and shaping public policies for people is something that needs to be constructed. It's a common effort by a government that is voted, by a parliament that is voted. And it needs to be constructed with a voice of populations which are often represented by civil society.
Namibia needs to enhance its participatory democracy, which is primarily concerned with ensuring citizens have opportunities to be involved in decision-making on matters that affect their lives, either directly or indirectly. This implies an active empowerment of citizens by the state through government and parliament to contribute to lawmaking and decision-making in the policy cycle of the country. To better enhance participatory democracy in Namibia, the EPDN program was launched in 2020 for a 5-year period until 2025, and a small team was established and hosted by the Parliament of Namibia. These steps are significant as institutional support is required for public participation to ensure that the political system protects and promotes the rights of people as enshrined in the Constitution through strengthening the relationship between civil society, parliament, and government. One of many roles of civil society is to mediate between the government and the people and ensure the government works in the interest of the people. Civil society manifests the interests and the will of the people through public participation. A vibrant civil society is important for the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, the African Union Agenda 2063, and Namibia's National Development Plans.
Civil society is quite diverse and very capable and often the driver of change, yet its role is often not fully seen. And I think this is where civil society could really bring many more benefits to government, to implementation, and we appreciate efforts, for instance, by the Ministry of Health to have a social contracting policy in place soon that hopefully creates better platforms for collaboration. That is one. And I think the second key message is that coordination is often undervalued, but it plays really a key role, especially in a country like Namibia, where so many people still act in silos, or we have campaigns that last for 2-3 years, and then they're getting forgotten again.
I am aware that civil society are challenged by lack of resources, namely, but mainly due to the withdrawal of development partners from Namibia, because the country is classified as an upper middle income country. We therefore support a vibrant civil society because the sector often has access to critical information, and your proximity to the grassroots, just like us, the regional council, makes us good partners to identify and advocate for the needs of our people.
Civil society is a very vital part of a participatory democracy in Europe. Out of a need or a necessity, they came together to set up an organization, like, for instance, to defend the rights of people living with a disability, or orphaned children, or people who suffered from both gender suffered from violence in the family. Lots, mothers of soldiers. So it's a whole variety. What unites them is a deep longing for changing a society to the better, and to try to reach out and to collaborate with all kinds of stakeholders.
The EPDN program aims to strengthen the capacity and collaboration of CSOs, Parliament and government in the oversight and implementation of public policies and programs, in collaboration with the National Planning Commission (NPC), the National Assembly and National Council of Namibia as representatives of the state. The project is implemented by a consortium of organizations led by ECORISE from the Netherlands in collaboration with the British Council from the UK.
The National Planning Commission undertakes the crucial role of being the national authorizing office since July 2020 for the EPDN program, housed at Parliament. Our responsibility includes coordinating and overseeing the program's implementation until its conclusion in July 2025. Today, we underscore a critical theme to resonate at the core of effective governance and participatory democracy: the importance of cooperation between civil society and parliamentary standing committee. This collaboration is not merely a procedural formality. It is a cornerstone upon which the construction of a robust and inclusive democracy stands. As we navigate our dynamic socio-economic landscapes, the EPDN program stands as a testament to unwavering commitment. The collaboration between government and the EU holds the promise of positive change, impacting governance institutions, citizen participation, and Namibia's overall development landscape.
This particular program started at the time when I was still not in parliament, but when I was actually on the executive side. I was the Director General of the National Planning Commission. And in my capacity as the DG then, we talked about the idea. And there was no question in our mind that this was a very important program, a program that was devoted to building capacity. So I would say happily that EPDN is a body that is aimed at enhancing participatory democracy at our parliament. It has also provided training and skill development for parliamentary staff, as well as members of parliament. Now, one of the specific areas where the program have assisted us with is the area of connecting and helping us to connect and work with civil society organizations. NGOs, civil society organization, basically that responsibility is centered around the National Planning Commission. And when I was a Director General, I knew that we needed to improve our capacity in how best to strengthen linkages with civil society organizations. Not only those organizations that are based at the national capital here in Windhoek, but also we were looking at how to identify those ones that are located in the rural and remote areas, because this is one way of having linkages that are helping us to assist us to take parliament to the people, to take parliament to be able to interact with citizens throughout the country, and taking into account of the fact that Namibia is such a vast country. And you need to be able to have connecting roads. You need to be able to reach out to citizens who are located far away from the national capital. And we felt civil society organization could play an important role in that regard. Becoming allies, the ears and ears of our people across the country.
Parliament is not everywhere, but civil society actors and non-state actors are distributed across the country. And when we talk of oversight, it is to ensure that we have results based on planned activities. So, and since Parliament doesn't have all the resources to go everywhere, then it is good if they are able to interact with others that may have access to the data on implementation and what is happening on the ground.
EPDN has actually gave us some more insight of what should we look at, how is the budget, the monies which is been given, supposed to be utilized to reach the end person, the people on the ground. And that is really what I can appreciate from EPDN, to keep us updated, to tell us what we should look at, how it's supposed to, and the accountability for us as especially public accounts members. When we held hearings with the OMASs, it's very much important to see that how the last cent was utilized.
The Enhancing Participatory Democracy program also seeks to raise awareness among CSOs, government, parliament, and the general public about the importance and benefits of participatory democracy in Namibia. The program areas are as follows. 1. capacity development with Parliament, and 2. Capacity development with civil society. Raising awareness on the significance of public participation among stakeholders and the public is important for collaboration, accountability, and participation. One key activity of the program is to assist the National Planning Commission in the revision of the Government of Namibia Civic Organizations Partnership Policy (COPP) from 2006, which aims to enhance the role of civil society in service delivery and overall development. This policy is outdated in some parts and needs adaptation to the country's current reality.
Our collective adaptability has enabled us to embark on addressing Namibia's socio-economic challenges through 3 key result areas of the program. Number 1, diverse perspective and expertise. When civil society organizations and parliamentary standing committees join forces, a rich tapestry of diverse perspective and expertise unfolds. CSOs, often rooted in grassroots experiences, bring a nuanced understanding of the challenges faced by communities. Parliamentary standing committees, on the other hand, offer legislative acumen and a structured framework for policy oversight. Together, they form a powerful alliance, ensuring that legislation and policies are not crafted in isolation, but are deeply informed by the realities on the ground. Secondly, strengthening oversight mechanisms. Collaboration between CSOs and parliamentary standing committees is pivotal in fortifying oversight mechanisms. CSOs act as vigilant watchdogs, holding the government accountable for its actions. When coupled with the authority and reach of parliamentary standing committees, these partnerships create a formidable force, ensuring that public policies and programs are scrutinized, debated, and refined to meet the genuine needs of the people. Thirdly, enhancing public participation. The cooperation between these entities is a catalyst for enhanced public participation. It opens avenues for citizens to actively engage in the decision-making processes. CSOs serve as bridges between communities and parliamentary standing committees, ensuring that the voices of marginalized and underrepresented are not only heard, but are integral to the policy-making discourse.
So to that extent, I can say we are really grateful for this initiative provided by the European Union. Civil society organization, we need to instill in them the vital role that they play, and saying to them, we are open, we are accessible, and they can contribute to the work of Parliament, and particularly in sectors and areas for which they have the necessary competence. So it really is a question of building a partnership, and also it's a question of as urging them to work with various parliamentary committees, standing committees, to say from time to time, we'll call on them. We are also interested in them inviting this parliamentary standing committee to a particular area so that we can actually interact and benefit from them.
Building democracy and promoting democracy is also a fundamental principle and in the European Union for the 27 member states, because there are many advantages to that, notably, first of all, that civil society can bring know-how, can bring technical expertise, understanding of topics, notably legislation that is being designed, and therefore can contribute with specific know-how that comes from the ground. It also creates accountability, of course, and transparency to the work of the Parliament or the government.
It's important that we network with other stakeholders like the civil society organizations that were brought on board so that it helps share information from their perspective so that members of parliament also get to know some of the challenges and how the civic organizations come on board to assist us to carry out our work effectively.
Our core mandate is to support government to implement projects that are aimed at addressing issues related to gender inequalities or the gender inequalities that we experience, to provide psychosocial support services to victims and survivors of gender-based violence, as well as supporting adolescents and young people who are affected by sexual and reproductive health rights challenges.
We have built over 7,000 houses, 7,600 so far in the last 30 years for those low-income people. So I think if they could then see on the ground how the community is working, what they're achieving, and then adopt their policy accordingly and say, you see, this policy, the housing policy is working, but let me adapt it like this, so that the community-led approach, this inclusive urban development is really like being a success.
We are an umbrella body for civil society, academia, and the private sector, linking to the government structures and coordinating, providing information, and doing advocacy in areas of health, nutrition, but also about agriculture and food security. So we currently have two major projects. The one is funded by the European Union. It stretches over 2.5 years, and it strengthens our coordination capacity for civil society, and it also enables us to support the establishment of civil society structures in 3 out of the 14 regions.
Public participation is a crucial element of decision-making in policies and lawmaking, because it consolidates and entrenches support for democracy whilst legitimizing and strengthening the institutions that maintain and give expression to it as it enhances the accountability of the state. The concept of public participation in governance is the fundamental pillar in the promotion and protection of democratic governance, as it ensures a feedback system to the citizen, making the state accountable to the citizen. The Namibian democratic order is relatively new and could be classified as a democratic state in transition. Democratic institutions thrive when inclusive and equal participation are key components of the democratic culture. Therefore, to deepen its democracy, Namibia needs its citizens to participate in the activities of the state in order for citizens to influence accountability through increased public participation. If you are interested in getting involved or learning more about the EPDN program, please visit www.epdn.org of the program or follow us on our Facebook page, Enhancing Participatory Democracy in Namibia. You can contact the EPDN program team, which is composed of experts and professionals, at info@epdn.org. Or watch our YouTube channel of the program, where you can find more documentaries, videos, and interviews featuring the program activities, results, partners, and beneficiaries. Subscribe to the channel and leave your comments and feedback. Thank you for watching this documentary and for showing interest in the EPDN program. We hope that you will join us in enhancing participatory democracy in Namibia. Be smart and take part.
I'm waking up this morning, getting up fresh with a brand new mind, going out to vote, going out to share my voice and my opinion. I know my rights, I know that I can keep my thoughts, and people will listen, and government knows we can take part. Me and you are taking part in giving better solutions to the people, for the people. We gonna be smart and take part for a better solution, because we're in a democratic country. Be smart and take part for a better solution, because it's a democratic country. Be smart and take part for a better solution, because it's a democratic country. Be smart and take part for a better solution, because it's a democratic country.
This documentary was funded by the European Union. Its contents are the sole responsibility of EPDN and do not necessarily reflect the views of the European Union nor the government of the Republic of Namibia.